because we're going to do the diaphragmatic breathing. And the reason why we're doing this breathing exercise again is because it goes through all of your nerve. It doesn't just hit one area. It goes through all your from your brain because you're thinking to your throat, to your sinuses, to your all the way down through your heart, through your intestines, because this is a pretty effective way to, as what Susan said, increase your vagal tone. We're gonna kick it up a notch. Our last episode, we just introduced the breathing. We want to introduce this breathing with what's called an intention. So, an intention is a specific energy we want our breath work to flow to. So, if you've ever heard the phrase energy follows energy follows thought. So, we have the thought, we're going to have the energy follow that. And this just ramps up the energy in a loving, subtle way so that we can increase the value, the energetic value of our breath work. So the first time we do this, I'm going to give you the intention. Uh, After that, you can say whatever you want. You can intend whatever you want. In every healing session that I do, I ask my clients what is their intention? What do they want to get out of this healing session? And where do we want the energetic work that we're going to be doing? Where do we want that to flow to? In this episode, we want it to flow to your vagal tone. So just take a deep breath. The intention is I am releasing, I am healing anything and everything that is preventing my vagus nerve from fully functioning, being balanced, being healthy, and supporting myself.
And supporting.
And I'm going to say that again. Susan, do you want to say it with me?
Yes,
I am releasing
I am releasing
and healing
and healing
anything and everything
anything and everything
that is preventing my vagus nerve
that is preventing my vagus nerve
from fully functioning,
from fully functioning,
being balanced,
being balanced,
being healthy,
being healthy,
and supporting myself.
and supporting myself.
You can say this intention either out loud or in your head if you're in a place where you can't really talk out loud. I prefer to say it out loud because not it what it does is it activates different parts of your brain and you're activating your throat.
Yes.
So I prefer to say it out loud.
Yeah. Actually recommended, really.
Yeah. Yes. So put your feet flat on the floor. You can actually do this either laying down or sitting. I prefer sitting. And I'm gonna show you this exercise just sitting. So we want our feet flat on the floor, and it doesn't matter which hand you can. We want one hand on your chest, one hand on your stomach. You can't really see my hand on my stomach. And what this exercise is going to do is it's going to massage all your internal organs. So this is why you're activating that nerve. And we're going to take a deep breath. We don't want to do this. That's just breathing from from our lungs. We actually want our stomach, our belly to expand outward because you're expanding your diaphragm. So when you take a breath in, we want your belly to expand outward as much as you can. That is comfortable for you. So you're going to keep your shoulders down and just take a good deep breath. We're going to breathe in through our nose and hold it for a second and then out through your mouth, and your belly's going to come back to center. It's going to deflate instead of inflate. So let's try that all together. Just take a good deep breath in, expand your belly, hold for a second, and then out, and let your belly deflate. And one more time, hold and out through the mouth. And you can do this for just a couple of breaths. I highly recommend you work up to a couple of minutes a day, several times a day. But we want you to at least do it once and do it 3 times because one, three is a sacred number. And two, three it helps activate everything. Because the first one, you're like, am I doing it right? What's going on? Do it. What should I do? The second and third time that you do it is going to be a lot easier. And if you can put this as part of a meditative practice,
Mhm.
doing it a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes a day, several times a day, right when you get up, at lunch, and then maybe right before you go to bed, and see how that works for you and see how that um, changes your life. Because now you're oxygenating your brain, you're oxygenating your body, giving you more energy and more clarity. So, Susan, what did you experience with that exercise?
Oh my gosh, I gotta say, the difference between the last time we did this and this time, truly that intention made a huge difference physically in my body and what I noticed,
Mhm.
because it took my mind away from the thoughts that were kind of going along, and it brought it right down into thinking about that intention. And again, for me, the voicing it really got it solid in there. And then when we were breathing, I literally could feel that breath going all the way through my body. I was very much more intentional on the where it went, the belly moving out, the belly deflating. And so I was just so absolutely present with it this time. And I mean, that made all the difference because I could feel, again, from my head to my toe, that balancing and that healing and that support was truly happening. I could feel it all. So, thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome. I mean the just adding the intention changes it just a little bit, but
A
it
lot of
that
it.
change, yeah, that change is so profound, and it for me, adding that intention made my breath deeper. And I
Yes.
loved and my exhalate inhalation deeper and my exhalation deeper. And I could feel, like you said, I could feel every where it all went in my body. And I love that it helped you come all the way back into your body and ground yourself. Because we're in our head a lot. We don't ground enough.
Mhm.
Wow. And I love it that the intentional part of it. This is what I'm going to be doing.
Mhm.
I'm going to be adding this healing thought. Energy follows thought.
Mhm.
I'm going to be adding this thought to my energy. How cool is that?
Yeah. Energy follows thought, and your where your attention goes, the energy flows.
Hmm.
There's a lot of these, energetic phrases, but it truly is where your thoughts and intentions are where your energy and creation flows. And if it is in a good flowing place and good thoughts, it's going to go that direction. If it is in a heavier,
Hmm.
painful, hurtful air space, it's going to go there. So truly setting those intentions that are positively directed towards yourself and your body as often as possible, and breathing in that through your space. game changer in the most positive way. And Jennifer, you had mentioned the possibility of multiple times a day. These
Mhm,
things you don't have to do just once. Sometimes we think, okay, I've got to get all of these things done first thing in the morning, and then I can go about my day. But you don't. It's just whenever you feel like you're all in your head, you're not grounded.
mhm.
It can happen any time of day because stuff happens through the day that pops you out of those smooth, easy flowing states. And so just again, allow yourself. And you mentioned you could do 1, 2, 3 minutes. You don't even have to do that
Mm-mm.
to start. It's really is just getting into the practice of breathing and doing these breaths when you need them to pull you back into the state that is most supportive for you. And, when things are swirling around in your head, those are the perfect necessary times to calm your mind. And like, even what you said, Jennifer, to sleep better because we want to set those intentions before we go to bed, actually, so that you have really restorative sleep. You don't want to be operating on, the swirls of what's going on in your head. So if you don't do it any other time of day, I'd say before bed is the best time to start adding this into your practice.
Absolutely. And as you were talking, an example came to mind of a client of mine that I taught this breathing exercise to. She works in a very toxic environment, a very male dominated environment, and she's one of the few females that work there. And lately her and her supervisor have been at odds with each other for whatever reasons. And anytime she would come to him with what was going on in the workplace, he'd be, "Oh, you're too emotional, and I don't want to deal with that." And so she felt dismissed. And I said, "Well, some people, not just men, but some people can't handle strong emotion. And she has very strong emotions. And I said, let's try this. Let's do this exercise, the diaphragmatic breathing." And I said, go into the bathroom if you need to, where you can be private, and do this breathing exercise for a minute. If you can do it for 2 or 3 minutes or longer, do that before you take whatever you need to take to your supervisor and be able to work things out. And what happened was truly magical because she was able to calm herself, raise that vagal tone, calm herself, and then talk to her boss, talk to her supervisor in a calm state. No longer was her vagal nerve dysregulated because she was no longer in anxiety. And what he did was he listened to her, and they were able to talk like adults in a work environment and resolve their situations, resolve their differences and the issues that she had had with other coworkers and other things going on in the company, to the betterment of both of them.
Good.
And that's all because she did this one little exercise for just a few minutes before she talked to him.
Ah,
How cool is
yay.
that?
Awesome, awesome.